While Epic Games has been under fire recently for overworking employees, the CEO spewing bullshit on Twitter about their exclusivity deals, and acquiring Pisonic, the developers behind the hugely popular game Rocket League, a content update just dropped this morning for Fortnite, plus a pending in-game event to discuss. First is the new item that's been leaked for several weeks now, the Shadow Bomb, which is an uncommon throwable item similar to the Shadow Stones from way back in Season 6 that will make people become invisible to enemies for a duration of 6 seconds. While you cannot attack, build, or loot while you're in this state, your speed is increased as well as being able to double jump and wall run. Thus, Fortnite made Titanfall mechanics in a battle royale game before even Apex Legends did, throwing shade at Respawn after they took the first shot with their blog post about their update cadence being slower due to not wanting to overwork their employees like Epic does. Even though this update is lighter on content than Disney Plus, there are several game-breaking bugs that were introduced, including a new dead zone in Tilted Towers, specifically in the pawn shop, that's probably not due to any lawsuits involving copyright infringement on those cheesy reality TV shows that share the same setting, and the newly added Shadow Bomb, giving players that are killed or knocked down while in that shadow state the best of both worlds when they either respawn or are revved like a car engine. The restrictions on players in that shadow state are lifted, so you could build, loot, and even shoot with a floating weapon that isn't invisible while your character is, while also retaining those mobility improvements. So have fun in duos or squads right now. There's also an additional bug with that Shadow Bomb new item where after the 6 seconds that you're supposed to go back into the non-shadow state, it doesn't actually activate until you hit the ground. So if you're in the air the entire time performing those wall run and double jump moves, you'll actually never get out of this shadow state. Is this the most buggy newly introduced item in Fortnite history? Let me know in the comments section down below. Anyways, while these bugs are being looked into, there are also several other hotfixes that have been released in the past week. First, addressing a turbo building bug after gliding that was amplified because it cost a qualifying spot to a pro player, an increase in the Infinity Stone pickup time from 5 seconds to 7 seconds in the endgame limited time mode, as if it wasn't already hard enough for the Thanos team to win, going against basically aimbot weaponry, and an increase in the party size from 4 to 16 for limited time modes that can take advantage of this, but it's just silly to see a lot of banana hammocks together in a game that isn't rated M for mature. Drawing the ire of the community, however, was a blog post about the more controversial design decisions that Epic has dug its heels into with regards to the health siphon that was always designed for competitive play, where, by the way, it still remains in arena mode if you actually really want it back. When everybody complained about how sweaty Season 7 had gotten, Epic did something about it, but people are also pissed on how they fixed it. I guess you can't please everybody. I don't have a hard, fast opinion one way or the other about this because there are both positives and negatives about it. As Epic states, it just makes being aggressive way too strong instead of allowing multiple playstyles to work, like being great at building but not as good at shooting. However, looking at the pulled out of someone's ass statistics on it really doesn't make Epic's case stronger regarding the supposed less skilled 90% of players getting frustrated and playing less, which completely ignores all of the other changes that Epic continually makes to its game that can turn off players that I mentioned in my previous video about the publisher overworking its developers to constantly push out new shit that may impact the game negatively instead of positively if the new shit doesn't really work. Their position on screen resolutions and FOV that can give people slight advantages is to make it an even playing field with a standard 16:9 with 80 FOV values, but the fact that Epic says that 80 FOV is the best viewing experience is just fucking laughable to anybody without an iron stomach for motion sickness. Or in case you're just so used to the peasant vision that you don't know what a higher FOV looks like. We all know the reason why 80 FOV is the default, because the already obsolete hardware when released consoles can't render the game at higher FOVs with a stable frame rate, even though visual fidelity and performance are the last items on the list of rationales for the decision, when they should actually be the first, but Epic only wants to throw shade at development companies and not console manufacturers, apparently. Lastly, the account merge feature, which was implemented after Sony finally decided to not be a petulant child and actually play ball with the cross-platform account progress, will be sunset on May 6th. So if you haven't done so, make sure you submit your account merge request before then, even though there really isn't a good reason for this to go away, because Games as a Service is actually just a fraud. While there are still a few days left to complete the endgame challenges, the Week 10 challenges are now live. For players that were both too lazy and too poor, the free challenges include eliminating 3 players at either Tilted Towers, where there should be enough people landing at the location to not even care about the option of doing it also at the block, launching yourself through 3 flaming hoops with a pirate cannon, of which those hoops are located on the map on screen now, southwest of Salty Springs, northwest of Lazy Lagoon, and southwest of the volcano, so land at the nearby pirate camp and just aim fucking upwards, bitches. And finally, a stage challenge of farming 500 wood in a match, then 400 brick in a match, match, then 300 metal in a match, which you should be doing anyways, at least for the first stage, unless you're just playing the game wrong. For people that either had nothing better to do at the end of Season 7 with overtime challenges, and more on those in a bit, or had the money to just skip the required task, like a rich celebrity's kid in college admissions, the challenges are dealing 500 damage with an assault rifle, or the semi-auto infantry rifle, now in epic and rare varieties, eliminating 2 opponents from less than 5 meters away, which is par for the course with the shotguns based on how much damage they deal at anything further than that, dealing 100 damage within 10 seconds of landing from a volcano vent, which seems like something that's more luck-based than skill-based, and lastly, a stage searching challenge. First, searching for a map in Junk Junction, the only reason you'd ever land in this spot in the center north of the name location, and the second stage is search X on said map, which is the start of the blade for the knife in the fork knife play on words of the game located to the northwest of Fatal Fields. Complete all of the challenges to get this loading screen here that's basically every single construction site ever with a bunch of people standing around not doing any work. The hidden banner can be found next to the temporary building shown in the picture on screen, which you can find at the center of Loot Lake, which is where all of the action is again this season, and more on that later. It seems that there will be more overtime challenges for this season similar to the last. According to leaks, Season 8 will end on May 23rd, meaning 2 full weeks after Week 10 to complete them, but it's unclear as of this time what the rewards will be for said completion, like a free battle pass for the upcoming season during the Share the Love period last time around. The tasks are to reach different tiers of the battle pass, 23, 71, and 87, which seem like random numbers to anybody that isn't a Pittsburgh Penguins fan, collecting coins on creative islands again, and hopefully this time I won't end up smashing my keyboard trying to get through a fucking maze, placing top 10 in both duos and squads with a friend that's only tough if you're #forever alone, dealing 1,000 damage, outlasting 500 opponents, and completing sets of 2, 4, and 6 of those said challenges. Although we don't know if the challenge will grant a free battle pass, new leaks indicate that the ability to gift a battle pass, similar to the way that you can gift cosmetic items, will be released alongside the start of Season 9, so now there will be even more e-begging in the comment section of videos for kids without access to their parents' credit card. Also in leaked new features, a teased anonymous mode will even further obfuscate people playing for their one viewer on Twitch that will allow you to alter your cosmetic loadout for opponents during a match, but you'll still appear the selected outfit for yourself and teammates, which actually doesn't make any sense if you think about it. Those skins that people have literally spent hundreds or even thousands of dollars upon were purchased for a reason, to show them off to every motherfucking body in the lobby and say, hey, look at how cool I am. Lastly, in leaked items, similar to the new Shadow Bomb, there has been a radioactive smoke grenade throwable found in the files, which seems to be an upgraded version of the previously vaulted trolling device. Perhaps it will roll the stink bomb and smoke effects into one just pure annoyance. Speaking of previously vaulted items, let's talk about what's been going on with Loot Lake, where the hidden banner for this week is located. Over the past week, the volcano that is new with Season 8 has been getting more and more active based on the number of runes that have been locked into the Loot Lake plug, which are now up to 5 of the 6. Once this last rune is activated, which based on data mines will take place on Saturday, May 4th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, the volcano will erupt and transport players into a butterfly type zone like at the end of Season 6, whereby vaulted items can be voted on to be unvaulted. These 6 items, which are currently on the monitors in the building surrounding the plug at Loot Lake, are the X4 Stormwing or Infinity Blade, with people voting on these items being actually fucking idiots, the Tactical SMG or Drum Gun for players that are shit at the game and need more bullets in a clip because their aim is supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, especially with a drum gun that can just eat away at buildings and is also very strong against players, which will make me not look forward to playing in that fucking meta again, and the Bouncers or Grappler that would actually make aggressive play more rewarding and makes the most sense with the health siphon removal for that particular playstyle. Please, I'm begging you peeps, don't vote for those first 4 items I mentioned, even though it seems the drum gun is the most popular right now. I guess that happens when you let window lickers determine your design decisions for you. This whole thing seems like an olive branch after the backlash to the blog post, but for the love of fucking God and everything that is holy, please don't let it be the drum gun in a game that differentiates itself from the other ho-hum battle royales with the building mechanic that can be just fucking decimated in a second with its overpowered magazine size. Yeah, you know how salty you get dying to the P90 because of its mag size? Imagine getting shot at both longer and from further away. Lastly, in leaked upcoming events, it finally seems that Tilted Towers will be destroyed after rumors of a meteor way back in Season 4 destroyed Dusty Depot instead, but Retail Row also seems to be a casualty based on data mines and the fact that both of these locations had pixelated Bukkake assets with the last patch before a hotfix. Anyways, what item are you going to vote on to be unvaulted and why? For me, it's either the Bouncers or Grapplers, not to make the game shite again. I've been DoshWants27, making like a redhead stepchild and beating it. Until next time.